Hey, welcome back to Morning Joe. We are now joined by author and NBC News political analyst Anand Giridharadas, also Republican strategist and political commentator Susan Del Percio, and former talk show host Montel Williams. He had a distinguished 22-year career in the U.S. Armed Forces and is out this morning with an op-ed titled, "I'm a gun owner. The time I've spent with school shooting victims haunts me." Mike Barnacle and Donnie Deutsch are still with us as well. And Montel, like myself, you're a gun owner. I would guess also you're not uncomfortable around firearms. Neither am I. And you probably think that the Second Amendment is a really good thing. And yet you have some real concerns. Talk about it.
I have some concerns because I tell you right now, Joe, first of all, thanks for having me on. To all those families out there, we got to remember that you know, this last couple of days, we're talking about one incident here in Florida, but over the last year, I think there have been 18 shootings in schools, and over the last 10 years, 12 years, it's a proliferation. I participated with the school Chardon High School in Ohio. This is back in 2012. After all the cameras left, I spent almost 2 years with those kids, going up there, visiting the school, talking to kids, going to football games, hanging with some of the survivors. 2 years almost to the date of the massacre at Chardon in Maryville, Pilchuck in Washington State, there was another shooting. And that night I was at a football game at Chardon, and I had the kids from Chardon call the kids at Maryville. And for the next 2 years, I participated and tried to talk to those kids. So right now, in the last couple of days, I've been getting email, text from kids who said, "Enough, Montel, enough. We need to do something. We're begging parents to do something responsibly. Do something." And that's when, as a gun owner, I have to stop and say, come on, man. Are we this stupid? Really? Are we this stuck on stupid that we will spend more time arguing where a child goes to the bathroom in a school than talking about protecting that child's life in that school? What have we really denigrated ourselves down to, man? So, yeah, as a proud gun owner, I have 17 guns, man. I spent 22 years in the military. Remember, you taught me how to shoot a weapon. You told me it was okay. So it was okay for me. But now all my guns are locked up in a safe, and I use them maybe once a year to go target practice and shoot rocks. Okay, but I think I'm trained. I had somebody check off that block as expert and say, go do your thing. We have children buying guns. Guys, come on. We have to do something about this. And we have to do something not next year, not 2 years from now, today.
Well, Montel, you really fit the profile of those who are most concerned about military-style assault weapons getting into the hands of kids. Because if you talk to police commissioners, if you talk to Marines, if you talk to former service people that have been in the military and understand the power of these type of weapons, they all say the same thing, or almost all of them say the same thing, which is civilians without proper training should not be able to go and buy these things faster, and as you can in Florida, than they can buy a handgun.
They have to restrict this weapon, but I got to tell you something. If we just beat up nomenclature, we're going to have a problem, because I want you to look up a 30-06 with a 7-round. That 30-06 is a 5.52 millimeter bullet. That bullet will go through doors. There are a lot of hunters who have that same weapon. I can walk right into a store and pick up one tomorrow. Now, can I shoot 16 rounds in a row? No. I could shoot 7, drop the clip, 7, drop the clip, 7. So we got to recognize that nomenclature seems important. If you look at a 30-06, it's got a scope. It looks like a hunting weapon, okay? Same bullet, same velocity, same damage. What I'm going to propose is that what we ought to do is, like you already said it, you didn't steal my thunder, buddy, but you did. And the op-ed piece that I'm so proud that you guys are publishing for me today, you talk about the fact that 90% of Americans, over 77% of gun owners, have stated unequivocally, we support background checks. If you just look at the polls, people in America are getting tired of this because, let me tell you, today I heard a couple reporters saying there's 1,000 people whose lives are affected. No. I get texts and emails from kids from each one of the high schools that I participated in saying, enough. There are 15, 20, 30, 40,000 kids this morning having PTSD.
Right.
You know, come on,
and
man.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Mike Barnicle, for people to say, well, this is just a small subset of children who are being affected, I can tell you somebody very close to me had a child last night in college who didn't sleep, who was so traumatized by what happened. And I hear it all the time. It's not just children in Florida in the vicinity, just like it wasn't children in Connecticut who were just traumatized. This has an impact across our country every time there's a shooting, and our children live in this fear.
There's no doubt about that, Joe. If you do a national MRI in the United States of America today, you're going to see elements of rage, frustration, anger. Those pop up on an MRI given the events that we live through nearly weekly, certainly daily in some cities like Chicago. Anand, you wrote yesterday, the Parkland tragedy is the symptom of another tragedy. We've become a people impervious to one another's pain.
As a father, my thoughts seeing a story like this are that not just our leaders are failing these people. We collectively, all of us, are failing these people, and not only because of what our gun control laws are, but because of what we have allowed this society to become in every aspect. We have become a society where we love our own policy positions more than other people's children. What kind of society is that? We've become the kind of society where we are immovable on any issue. There is no set of facts that will move many of us on the issues that we think we know everything about. We've become I have lived in many countries and traveled in many more tribal societies, less developed societies, where two things happen. People rely on the gods rather than their own sense of agency to make the world better. We are becoming like that. And where secondly, people kind of only feel for the pain of people of their caste, their tribe, their family, people who look like them. They don't feel anything for their fellow citizens. We are becoming like that too. We are becoming a tribal pre-modern society. This is not just about a shooting, as tragic as the shooting is. It's not just about gun control and figuring out whether you ban AR-15s. That's all very important. But this is all symptom of a disease that has to do with a total decay in our political love for each other.
So, Susan, unfortunately, Tuesday, Wednesday, this show, all other shows will move on. His point, brilliant point. So what do we do? What do we, instead of saying, oh, please, Mr. Trump, oh, please, Paul, as parents, as voters, as journalists, what do we do?
Well, I'm going to give you an answer more from a political, operative, cold, hard fact thing. What we need to do right now is we need to have gun control groups not just speak to Democrats. We have to have Republicans speaking to Republicans on this issue. We have to tell Republican legislators who are in swing districts, you will not be just hit by the NRA. You will get supported by like-minded people. We need to support people who do want to do the right things but are too afraid of the NRA. The NRA needs to be knocked down a few pegs, and that, as a political decision, can be made, and we can spend and we could do things to do that. Because right now, that's one of the main things that are blocking. Not to go against your point, yes, as a society, we're facing many issues, but right now it's brass tacks. So on a political front, yes, we need to do more in mental health, but we also need do more to take down the NRA and its political influence and back those Republicans who are willing and want to make change and not have to face difficult primaries, because that's the legislative problem that we face.
So, Montel, off of that, I have a proposition for you, given your history, given your past. And it is this. I don't know whether you went to Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego or no, Paris Island or whatever, but here's the deal.
Paris Island Marine, dude.
Okay, here's the deal. You're taught, take the high ground. Take your weapons and take the high ground. The high ground's easiest to defend. So the weapons we have to go against the NRA are multiple. We have the vote, which unfortunately too many Americans don't use. We also have three really great Americans, three former presidents, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama. If you and people like you would get behind forming an organization called not the National Rifle Association, but the National Safe Gun Association, and ask Americans to join, donate $5 or $10 and go primary all of these Republicans who are pro-gun.
I'm in, and I'll tell you why. I got this. I can't see another one of these, man. Something needs to be done. That's from a young man from Jordan. Seeing all these school shootings just keeps bringing me back, Montel. We need to do something, and we need to start doing it today. I'm in. It's easy. You don't even have to ask me twice. Let's do it.
Okay. Joe,
All
you
right,
in?
Montel Williams. Yes, and I'll tell you what, the thing is, I think, Montel, your voice is powerful because you're a gun owner. You believe in the Second Amendment. Like me, you believe that Americans do have the right to keep and bear arms. But you can also read headlines and read the Constitution and read the Supreme Court decisions that show that this is not some fundamental right for us to be crazy when it comes to this issue. But anyway, Montel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate it as always. And please read Montel's column. It's going to be online this morning at NBCnews.com's opinion page.